Well, welcome back to another episode of the worst show on the internet. Maybe even in the universe. God, one could only hope to be that awesome. Anyways, hopefully you guys are doing pretty well. I'm doing alright. Had a little snafu with that last little video that we did. Apparently we were glorifying and representing some person that did something in some place, somewhere. Am I being vague enough? No, I was talking about the Highland Park thing, and apparently YouTube didn't like it, so they removed the video, and we had to take a little time out. They were like, take a break. So whenever they do that, I'm just like, fine, whatever, and I take the break. Because that's what you gotta do, especially if you're the worst show ever, man. If they're just all like, dude, that show was so bad, there was so many people watching your really bad show that we had to remove it, and it's not your fault this time, but we're still gonna take you down for a little bit, you know, just like, better wise up, son. For you, I'm just like, all right, whatever, guys. Jesus. I mean, you know, at least Twitch doesn't hit us up about anything, but then again, Twitch is a cesspool, apparently. So, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, we were streaming to D-Live, but we downgraded our restream package because, you know, nobody really watches on D-Live except for, I think, like 1-2 people. But they were always, like, watching on YouTube, too. So it was just kind of like, it's redundant. We can get rid of all that shit. Downsizing and focusing our audience. Yeah. Maybe Susan is just concerned with my health, Raymond Duncan. That's probably the smartest thing. That's the smartest thing I've heard in a long time. Yes, that's the smartest thing I've heard in a long time. Not really, though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Apparently, farmers are gridlocking and blockading all kinds of places in the Netherlands because they are fed the up. They are just fed up with all the BS. And I don't know why they feel that it's necessary to lock down their country, but they're being far more effective than any fucking truckers I've ever seen. I'm not trying to drop F-bombs, but I'm just dropping F-bombs. They're just so eager and able to stop truckers, but apparently they can't stop farmers in the Netherlands. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on there. I keep seeing all kinds of stuff about it, and I mean, this is crazy, dude. The farmers are blockading shit. They're like blockading borders. They're blockading the town. They got their tractors and stuff everywhere. I don't know what's going on with all that. Hey, where's my... Oh, what the hell? That was weird. But yes, the farmers, they're doing farmer shit or whatever. There's this blonde bitch out there that's been talking about it or whatever, but to me, I just think it's kind of interesting that that's been going on. But that's not really like the focus of what we're trying to get along with here, right? Like, there's been a lot more going on in the world that people care about. And honestly, I'm just kind of flabbergasted because there's just kind of like weird shit happening in the world, man. You know, it's like the craziness and the outright like ridiculousness is on full display from people in the government, people at companies and stuff, people are just wilding out. Wilding out. And you don't even know why. Like, you don't even know why. I tweeted at Thirstmaster today, and I got them to tweet back at me. But even then, it's about their crappy ass products that I still have to use every single day. It's kind of ridiculous, man. But I look at it and I think that, you know, finally the dawn is starting to break. You know, people are starting to realize that the weirdness is here. The things are happening. And that's good for me, because it's been a long ass time of doing all these damn live streams and trying to explain to people that, you know, there is a type of awakening that is coming, but it's not the awakening that you think, you know. It's not like being against the government is bad or anything. That used to be like a faux pas thing, but then it was the in thing, and now it's like, if you don't trust the government and everything we say, you know, like, we're going to throw you in the fucking gulag. And then I listen to stuff like this from this press secretary that we got, who, you know, I was all saying, hey, man, I like it. You know, we got a new press secretary. What's it called? What's her face with the blonde hair, big chi-chis or whatever? Jen Psaki, that's what her name is. I almost forgot her name. See? I almost forgot her name. That's why. And now we have Jean Pierre, the press sec. We're just going to call her the press sec because I can't remember who says her name right. But just take a listen to this. This is a video from Rumble. Can you imagine that? I got a video from Rumble.
People should be allowed to be able to do that.
In a restaurant?
If it's outside of a restaurant, if it's peaceful, for sure.
Really?
Peaceful protest. Your first question to me was intimidation.
So these justices, because protesters do not agree with an opinion that they signed on to, have no right to privacy, is what you're saying.
But Peter, this is people have the right to, this is what a democracy is. People have the right
to privacy?
Of course people have a right to privacy, but people also have a right to be able to protest peacefully.
Is that
peacefully? It's the intimidation and the violence that we condemn.
What? Excuse me? Oh yes, they could peacefully intimidate you. What is peaceful intimidation? Like, aren't these the same people that were telling me that, like, you know, the 2020 riots and the 2021 riots were like, it was the summer of love or whatever? I mean, what? Like, isn't it against the law? Oh, it's not intimidation, it's a protest. Well, you know, like, I don't know how you draw the line. But, you know, the White House seems to have drawn the line on how they're going to dictate a whole lot of stuff to us. And it makes me just think that something is bound to happen that is not going to be what I believe everybody wants it to be, but it's only the beginning, right? Because there's little bitty things that are happening within the cracks that you might have missed, probably. Do you guys remember George Floyd? Since we were talking about the riots, I feel like it's a nice segue to the next story that I have to talk about, which is Derek Chauvin sentencing. Did you hear that? He got sentenced. It's actually happening again. Apparently, Mr. Chauvin is sentenced to federal prison for violating George Floyd's civil rights for that whole I got my knee on your neck bit that he did a while back that some people took some great, didn't like. Yes, they took great didn't like to it. I said that the way that I wanted to say that. Whatever just comes to mind is what comes out. But yes, Chauvin already pleaded guilty in December to federal charges. And now he's sentenced to 21 years in federal prison. Yes, 21 years federal prison for the convicted for the killings of George Floyd in the summer of 2020 that sparked all them riots and shit that were mostly peaceful, where folks died, that shit got burned down. But you know what? George Floyd, that dude was a hero. Apparently, is that on the script that they sent me? Anyways, George Floyd was a very, very weird situation, but the situation got even weirder when, you know, the eye turned on to this guy right here who was blamed for the death of George Floyd. And remember, it had no way, shape, or form anything to do with anything that George Floyd might have been doing before or whatever. You know, don't bring it up to me. Black Lives Matter, all that shit. But I guess it is kind of a nice justice for somebody, 21 years. Obviously, he could try to appeal it, stay the sentence, whatever, but I just don't see it happening, so it seems like he's probably going to be spending a wee bit of time behind them wee bars out there in the world. Just a piece of information that I saw that came from Eon Miles Chong in the Rebel News, which I was like, wow, Chauvin, he's not having a good time, it seems. That really sucks for him. Yeah, really sucks for him. I don't know why, but, this shit kind of happens, bro, and then you guys just kind of got to deal with it. It's just like the other news of the day, which is Senor Elon Musk, the guy that owns all the rocket ships in the world, pretty much, and has all the electric cars too. You want to buy one? Hit him up. You can go to his not dealerships to get one today. Anyways, he has decided that he's going to be terminating that $44 billion Twitter deal. That's right. You heard that here first, folks. Well, you probably already saw it on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, man. But yeah, he's saying that he's terminating the deal. That's right, terminating the deal. And if you'd like to see all of the legalese behind this, I can make it really big so you could probably actually see it. But yes, to Twitter, Miss Gotti, dear Miss Gotti, yes, Mr. Musk is terminating the merger agreement because Twitter is in material breach of multiple provisions of that agreement, appears to have been made false and misleading representations upon which Mr. Musk relied when entering into the merger agreement, and is likely to suffer a company material adverse effect as the term defined in the merger agreement. Ooh, holy shit. God damn. It's all over, folks. We all thought Elon Musk was gonna save free speech. And guess what? It ain't fucking happening now, sucker. It's all over. And apparently, Mr. Elon Musk is saying specifically it is happening because Twitter, quote unquote, lied about various criteria which would lead to him to be making a different decision if he had decidedly known some of these things. There's a lot more points into this specific thing, but it really does specifically seem to rely on the ability to gather the data and information requests that he's been trying to get, and that I guess Twitter has allowed him simple access to, but not enough access so that he could actually, make a decision based on the data that they require. And basically they're saying that it's going to take like years for him to actually utilize Twitter's system to get the data that they're asking for, where it would be easier for a number of reasons for them to just give it to them. But obviously they don't want to do that for some mysterious reason. So Elon Musk is now saying, hey, independent assessment to make sure that these accounts aren't fake or spam on the platform, blah, blah, blah. These are all things that we would like to talk about. And Miss Twitter hasn't given us the things that we would like to talk about. So Mr. Musk is like, yeah, we've been asking since like May 9, 2020, repeatedly for access to specific terms, metrics, so on and so forth, and they haven't gotten that access. So it seems that he's specifically trying to utilize certain legalese that was set forth within the merger agreement to try to get out of paying, I guess, what is it? $1 billion? Yeah, that's right. $1 billion. And he's basically trying to say, since Twitter isn't providing the information in a timely manner and then not giving them the access to adequately proceed with it, where they could have already had all of this data inquiry done in the last month, but Twitter has basically just been shuffling their feet or simply not giving them enough ability to query the information fast enough and at a high enough rate for it to actually be feasible. And He's also saying that Twitter is refusing to comply with obligations under the merger agreement, and that's the reasoning behind why he want to be canceling the deal of deals, the $44 billion, $54.20 a share, nightmare good deal. And now it's like everybody knew he wasn't going to buy it, right? We all thought he was going to buy it, but then now he's not buying it. And hi. Oh, wow. We got Cool Cat, Babyface, Yickum24, that person, Susu, Senor Robert Rittenhouse, and that hairy dude. What's up? So what do you think, guys? Like, dude, Twitter, the deal's done, son. It ain't happening no more. It ain't happening no more. Whatever shall they do? Would you be surprised to find out that now Twitter is saying, oh no, motherfucker, you are gonna be buying us for $44 billion. And now it's gonna have to happen. And that's actually what's going down. So, you know, like, this is just the whole merger agreement. It's long, blah, 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 blah. I've tried to explain it with at least not taking forever, but, you know, I want to scroll through the whole entire thing and at least show it to you. But yeah, that's the thing, you know, he's terminating the deal. That didn't happen very much long ago. But that's according to Reuters and a whole bunch of other people out there. And I mean, here's Sky News.
Just want to bring you a little bit of breaking news before the press preview. We're hearing that Elon Musk, Tesla's chief executive, has just said that he is terminating his $44 billion deal for Twitter. He has said that there has been material breach of multiple provisions of the agreement, and as a result, shares of Twitter have fallen 6% in extended
6%?
trading.
Holy fuck!
Bringing to an end the will he, won't he saga when it comes to Elon Musk wanting to buy Twitter for $44 billion. It's not going to happen. That breaking news in the last few moments.
Will he, won't he? I guess he's not going to buy it now. See? Look, I told you, I'm not making this shit up. There's like really people here. Here's where I got the SEC document from Mr. Alex Westbrin. Enthusiast, writes about business, media, sports. Notice how he doesn't have he, him in his fucking blog shit? Just for that, I'm going to fucking throw this dude a follow. Don't fuck it up, Alex Westbrin, or WePrint, or whatever your name is. I'm going to have my eyes. I got my eyes on you, son. Yeah, what's this? Well, I mean, we could talk about the Georgia Guidestones, but I feel like there's some other shit over here that we could be looking at. Somebody said something about it. Oh, right here. Elon Musk sends it. They were just. I have another link for this. Right here. It was from BHO News. Twitter is taking legal action to ensure Elon Musk buys company on the price and terms previously agreed. Like, what? Is that real? It's got to be real, right? Like, Twitter doesn't want to renege on this deal. It's not going to get any sweeter in this economy. It's going to be 2 to 3 years probably before their Twitter price, that Twitter stock price gets up to that number if Elon Musk doesn't buy it. So there's seriously something strange in the water today when we're all looking at this. But, you know, BHO News desk is probably one of the weirder ones, right? Isn't this one affiliated with some sort of state media? But that's the thing. Twitter, Elon Musk. I mean, I bet you it's probably trending over here right now. Is it? No, we got Jen Psaki. No. Internet down. Elon Musk. Boom. There we go. There we go. So, what do we really see? What do we really do? What are we really supposed to say? What's everybody gonna do now, dude? Now, all those people that left Twitter and shit, they're gonna have to, like, come back, and they're gonna be all like, dude, what's up, man? Let's start trading all our memes and shit again. And it's not happening anymore, bros. Elon Musk has decided to not do that anymore. And I mean, it's kind of sad if you really think about it, but honestly, it had to happen it was going to happen, dude. It was going to happen. So, was it a master troll by Elon Musk just on everybody, or is it just going to get weirder because Twitter still wants him to buy them and is probably going to try to force him to buy them to get out of paying the $1 billion or whatever if the deal doesn't go through, which is just really going to be interesting if you think about it, because, I mean, let's be real, they haven't really given him the access to the information he's been requesting. I mean, they gave him like an ability to access it, but not in a timely manner where they're going to actually be able to make a determination if all those data points from Twitter are actually true about the number of their users, which a lot more people are now starting to believe that, yeah, maybe they aren't. Maybe it is 25 to 30 to 50% bots. Yeah. Think about it. It's what it is. It's what it is, dude. It's what it is. So, I'm sure we're probably going to be hearing from the administration in just a bit, but at the same time, I'm not sure they're going to really be doing anything that could be considered to be real. And I mean, we got Joe Biden gaffes for days in the last couple of days. This is probably the newest one that comes out here, and it's right on the neck of Joe Biden announcing a new executive order on reproductive rights action, which, what the fuck does that even mean? But it obviously has something to do with abortion. So, you know, Joe Biden and his people, they couldn't get anything done from, you know, Congress, and the Supreme Court's not on his side. So he's just going to start saying, okay, another executive order that's not going to hold up in court. But here you go. But this one's see if you can catch it.
Repeat the line. Women are not without power. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political, or maybe precise, not and or political power. That's another way of saying that you, the women of America, can determine the outcome of this issue. I don't think the court, or for that matter, the Republicans, have power. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line.
End of quote. Repeat the line. Is he reading off a teleprompter, dude?
End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not with the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. The men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and...
Oh, God damn it. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy. Damn it, who typed a question to make a teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that teleprompter, Burgundy will read. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy. Look at Kamala Harris's face.
Maybe precise than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and or political or maybe precise, not.
Just like she's just blinking really hard. Oh, dude, really? I mean, cool. Thanks for the executive order on reproductive rights. So that's good job, Biden. Good job, dude. Now, what's this?
When it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels. when this is over. And when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition.
We're going through an incredible transition that we're definitely not going to try to help fix. Oh, you wanted us to open it up about the pipelines and permits and research and start approving shit? Ain't happening. By the way, 500 million barrels of oil, we just sold them out of our reserves to other countries that hate us. But I'm Joe Biden, and we're going to have electric cars, and everything's going to be amazing. Yay! Yay. Dude, Joe Biden, he's been on a kicker lately, dude. What about this one?
Only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
What? You don't count drunk driving as a felony, Joe Biden? Are you trying to help out Nancy Pelosi's husband right now? You trying to help out Pelosi and the girls? So her husband? Oh yeah, I don't count DUI as a felony. So when a person gets caught for DUI, I don't believe that they should be arrested and taken to jail. I believe that after the cop sees them, they should be allowed to drive home. That's what I believe. My name's Joe Biden. Oh, yeah. What's happening? This is a president. You know, like, we don't get mean tweets. We just get incoherent speech and crazy talk. That's what we get. We get the most insane liberal shit that I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, somebody's going to get caught for DUI and then they're not going to go anywhere? Okay. Oh, it's not a felony, so we don't care. So yeah, nobody gets arrested for any misdemeanor out there. That sounds like a great idea, right? Right? Yeah, and let's take away all their guns. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Thanks a lot. Here's another one. This one's a lot harder to see, but, you know, if you look at his medal, it is on backwards. Thanks, Joe Biden, for the Medal of Freedom, and thanks for hanging it on my fucking neck backwards. I appreciate you, old man. He's just wearing it backwards right there. Seriously, it's fucking backwards. Dude, you had one job, put that shit on right, and you couldn't do it. This poor guy got his medal on backwards. Why? What does this say? My message to the companies running gas stations and setting the prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you are paying for your product, and do it now. Do, 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 do. What is this? Oil futures? It actually came down, dude? No way. Did it actually come down? Look at that, dude. 375. Minus 3%. You did it, Joe. You did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. We did it. We did it, Joe. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah, Joe Biden's still having a lot of trouble doing his job, reading the teleprompter. So it's like whoever runs the teleprompter is really the president, right? Am I right? I mean, is that wrong to say? We can get over there and get on there and say, and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to see if his old ass could say that. Somebody just needs to sneak it in there on the teleprompter. I mean, I'm bequeathing this quest onto one of yous out there in the worlds, and if you do it, we'll bail you out. We'll get you out of there. We'll make sure you're out of there. I got you. Move some Bitcoin around. It'll happen. But whatever. I mean, it just seems like all of this weirdness has been happening for a while, for about a minute, but then even weirder shit was happening because, like, a long time ago, we were telling you guys about the Georgia Guidestones. And some of you might have heard about the Georgia Guidestones in the news recently because apparently some dude or someone, some people even think it was God, Don't know if that's true or not or whatever. I was like, dear Jesus, did you and God destroy the Georgia Guidestones with the lightning bolt? If this is true, just turn the lights off. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, yeah, the Georgia Guidestones got blown up. Well, one of the posts got blown up, and then it seems that the people that are behind it, the county or whatever, decided for the safety of everyone, they might as well just take it down, actually. Which is kind of funny, because there was supposedly like a Georgia Guidestones time capsule, and somebody sent me something about like what was reportedly found inside of the time capsule, but I don't know if it's real or not, because like it looked like a big ass bag of Quaaludes, and then like a couple, like there was only 4 things in there, like, and one of them was just a giant bag of ludes, like Quaaludes. I'm not making this up, but I was just like, dude, this can't be real, so I don't even know if I have the link to it anywhere. But you know, it's gone. It's gone, okay? So, like, this is the footage that the FBI released of a silver car speeding away from the location shortly before the object reportedly exploded by some kind of concussive force and or lightning. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that say that God struck it down by lightning. Sounds like a nice theory, but I don't know. He didn't turn the lights off, so who knows? Who knows, you know? Maybe he's having trouble accessing the power meter or something like that. But according to people with their video cameras, they've completely cleared out the entire site. The entire site has now been leveled over. They've knocked down all of the stones. So hopefully no more crazy motherfuckers be trying to blow it up and shit, or do satanic rituals or whatever the hell you weird ass mother suckers are out there trying to do. I mean, just not happening anymore. It's just not happening anymore. They've leveled the structure. The structure is leveled. Here is the actual detonation that they got from the CCTV cameras, which is a little interesting, actually. You know, not a very powerful explosion, you know, from what you can see, but it was enough to level just one of the planks, because like the whole thing was like a middle structure with the top thing, and then it had 4 wings. And it seemed to have blown up one of the wings. Just one. And that was enough for them to finally be like, alright, we need to get rid of this fucking thing. People are like, you know, whatever. And, I mean, there's people out there that are like, oh, it could have been lightning, or it could have just been an explosion. There's 2 frames worth of stuff there that show us that it might have been something. Maybe it was some kind of electronuclear device. I don't know. All we really know is that A, it blew up, and B, there was a person speeding away from it, caught on camera, that probably knows what really happened, which, you know, they considered is probably there, because it'd be really weird. Granite is a magnetic surface, and sure, if granite got wet and was like soaked in, very porous, so, like, if it was soaked with enough water or something like that, you know, maybe you could, like, get it to explode in some kind of weird way if it generated some weird sap or something, but it's highly unlikely, really, highly unlikely that, you know, a bolt of lightning would have, like, taken it out like that. It might have, like, ripped a chunk off of it or something like that, but not the whole entire, it would have probably done a lot more damage. And we do have some links, so let's see. But I think I actually do have some links about that. Yeah, you know, around the same time there was some other places like Bell Tower at Surfside Presbyterian Church, July 5th, 2020.
During yesterday's storms, a fire broke out after lightning struck the bell tower of the Surfside Presbyterian Church. Crews responded around 1:30 p.m. and were able to quickly get the.
So, you know, there is some thought to it, and it says, meanwhile, an obelisk in the vegan city on the afternoon of 7/11 got hit. And this is what happened to the obelisk that was made out of brick and mortar, which is way weaker than something like granite. And it only like took out like a little chunk. Just like a little chunk. But it also got hit by a lightning bolt. But, you know, it didn't have the same kind of effect, and this is a weaker, even more porous material. So I just find it highly doubtful with an analytical mind to say that, yeah, it was like, nah, man. I mean, that shit, lightning bolts are pretty hard, or pretty brutal or whatever, but a lightning bolt can't make a fucking slab of granite explode. That shit would get charged and start glowing and then, like, ascend into, you know, another reality or some shit. Not to mention that this is just kind of a weird conspiracy theory all over it. And, you know, most of the news articles that have abounded from this have been pretty clear about it being some sort of bomb that did it. You know, some sort of weapon with a large amount of kinetic energy that forced that one thing to blow up. And I mean, think about it, you know, like that's a pretty tough ass granite because none of the other columns and shit had it or seemed to be too affected by it, you know, like they only had damage from the debris. And I still haven't been able to ascertain from any of the videos that I've seen which of the tablets was actually, you know, blown up. And a lot of people considered it to be our version of Stonehenge, even though it hasn't really been around for that long. It was only around since like the 1980s, okay? In the 1980s, a person or group of people named R.C. Christian had those things commissioned to be built, and then there was actually a pretty good documentary that went through that goes through the actual history of the building, where they found documents that basically say who built these things and pretty much why. So it was never like these guys were in the Illuminati, but they definitely seemed to be into eugenics, and they also were into some other, I guess, what you would call scammy type businesses. So it's very interesting to me that for a while now, you know, these people haven't said it. You know, people got some good views of what the damage actually looked like. Like, here's some video from Rumble, I think it is. You could see that originally, before they came in there with a bulldozer and just knocked the rest of it over and started breaking it up so they could get rid of it, it was really only one of the pieces that got busted. The other ones were still standing pretty strong, actually. And if you look around the area generally when lightning strikes something, there's usually a patina of some kind that is present around the object that was struck, because, you know, the lightning hits it and the lightning's going to travel to it till it gets through the ground, and anything that's alive on the ground, or even if the dirt is dry or even a little bit dry, you would see like a massive burning mark around that from all the plant material that's in the dirt basically burning up. So it's a little weird, you know, like I want that to be true, but, you know, I also, you know, want to be smart about what I'm saying here, because really the only thing of interest that was here besides the actual tablets themselves is that there was a time capsule that was on the bottom. Like, there's a time capsule that was meant to be dug up on a certain time, and, you know, like, I have no idea why or what is actually in there, although I did see some shit that said something. You know, here's another good picture from Reuters that shows you the rubble of how it basically got damaged, and you can see this part got thrown off, a little part over here got cleaved off, and this whole thing was basically in a ruin. So, you know, if a lightning bolt did hit it, maybe there was like a bunch of water on the inside of it, or it was frozen, or maybe that, like, there was like something got on it, caused it to like seep into the rock, and then, you know, when it got hit by lightning, it expanded rapidly and made it explode. But then who the fuck was that guy driving away? You know, like, I don't know. So many questions. So many questions. But for all intents and purposes, it's almost like they didn't do that much damage. But the time capsule is in this little thing right here. So it's like they took all of this down. And I guess they probably dug that up. But I haven't really seen any information as to what was inside of the time capsule. Just what we've seen from there, where people are actually just taking videos of this damn thing and trying to figure out, what the hell's going on, or why somebody blew the thing up. Like, I kept seeing all of this, and people have wrote F the NWO on this thing. Some people don't like it. They're like, good riddance. I'm just like, whatever, dude. Here's some video of the bulldozers actually knocking it over. So, they were out there quick, within hours, dude. They had a bulldozer out there with a bunch of police and shit, and they're just knocking them over. They're like, nope, fuck this shit. Somebody try to blow them up? Fuck you guys. We'll just knock them down, because, it ain't like that. This is just somebody's art piece, you fucking weirdos. But literally, like, think about that. They knocked it down real quick. Completely leveled. And is it a message, dude? Is it a message? Is this, like, meant to be a message, part of the story that eugenics and all that other stuff is bad and that the globalists aren't going to win? Because look at that. Boom, boom, just knocking them over. Yeah, age of reason? Get the fuck out of here. That's what they're like. Yeah, it's certainly a message. To who? Is it a message to us or them, though? That's the real fucking question. Is that a message to us? They're like, fuck it, we're knocking these over because we're doing it. Y'all are dead now. I don't know, man. Just let you guys take it in. Just take it in, dude. Watch it go down. Watch it go down. Watch it go down. Watch it go down. Whoa, dude. Bro. Topple it. Topple it. Topple it. Topple it. Act of God who toppled Georgia's Guidestones. Well, technically, one of them got exploded allegedly by a crazy man and or God with the lightning bolt. And then the people that actually toppled it seemed to be some dude in a forklift, or not, I'm sorry, in a dozer or some kind. I don't know, was that like a bucket scoop thing? But I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm not into heavy machinery and shit. There's a bunch of fucking, like, hardcore construction guys standing around their little phones right now, all looking at me like, what? Did he just call that a forklift? So yeah, honestly, I recommend everybody go check out a particular channel that I wouldn't have recommended in the past, but would have recommended, but for certain videos and stuff. But Really Graceful actually did a great little documentary on this entire subject, and got through to the meat and potatoes on exactly who was behind the thing, who owns it now, and basically what it's all, maybe not all what it's about, but, it pretty much shows that it's not all spooky dooky like some of these ridiculards are, like, flat earth is real! Those people, you can't fucking talk to stupid sometimes. You just gotta let it exist, man. You gotta let stupid exist and hope that it gets rid of itself. It'll take care of itself. But anyways, there's this little thing here, Some people talk about the lightning thing, and there was that stain on the top of it or whatever. So, maybe the stain had something to do with it, because that stain could have been something. Some people were saying it was blood, but it was tested and it wasn't blood. So maybe it's like some kind of sap or something. I don't know. Maybe that attributed it to the explosion or whatever, but she had talked about it pretty clearly. What the fuck?
Federal Reserve came to fruition. The free
she talked about Freemasons and shit. No, we don't want to talk about Freemasons.
Of the occult are attracted to this site, much to the displeasure of one local Alberton minister, who expressed fear that cattle or even a person would be sacrificed on top of the Guidestones. His worries predated the actual stain on top of the stones, which might very well be an intentional splatter of paint or some kind of mildew problem. But nonetheless, every year all sorts of occult types visit the granite capital of the world to view this monument, which is
actually, this is a good thing. So if you look right here on the top of this, because this is from before it got blown up or whatever, we should be able to look. Me. Yeah. Maybe. Wait, there's that thing. I think I need a better I need a better angle of that shit. There's that pedestal. There's the thing over there. Pedestal. Thing over there. Explosion would have been there. So yeah, it's not the one that was stained. Or actually, yeah, it is the one that was stained. Look at that. That's interesting. Because there's the fence. There's that thing. There's this busted one. Big stain. And then you got the busted one. See, this is the one that's stained right here. There's the top. There's the fence. So the stain would have been here and then going on to this one. So no, not exactly the same one. Because this is the one right here that I got my little mouse pointer over. This is the one right here that got blown up. This is the one with the stain on it. That's the fence. There's the thing. So stain is the one closest to the fence. Closest to the little placard. So not the one that was stained. Huh. Wow, we just sleuthed that out pretty easily, actually. I didn't actually do that before, so that was live, motherfucker. So we could see at least there. But interestingly enough, no stain. No stain. No stain on top of it. No stain on top of it. But we should let her continue.
It's interesting because granite is magnetic. And occultists are drawn to this area like they have been to Stonehenge or even the Egyptian pyramids, fueled by the belief that these sites are connected by ley lines or links between the aforementioned landmarkers said to contain electromagnetic energy, like landmarks on an energy highway of sorts. While Freemasons did take credit for building the Guidestones, the documentary Dark Clouds over Elberton actually tracked down 2 individuals whom they believe were behind the R.C. Christian pseudonym, the misspelling of which, at least on the explanatory tablet beside the Guidestones, spells out untarnished conspiracy. Obviously, major spoilers ahead. Discovered through saved letters in banker Wyatt Martin's old IBM computer case, filmmakers identified friends Robert Merriman and Dr. Herbert Hinsey Kirsten of Fort Dodge, Iowa, as the sponsors of the Guidestones. Robert worked at a publishing company and was presumably the individual who published Common Sense Renewed. Dr. Kirsten, whose last name is German for Christian, was a Catholic medical doctor who was ironically very passionate about birth control as a means of population control. A little bit of digging revealed that Dr. Kirsten was allegedly a eugenicist who wanted to create a measurement tool for race supremacy. And while that documentary wrapped up the mystery very nicely, what was most interesting to me about this alleged discovery was not the individuals in question, but that Fort Dodge, Iowa, where the Cardiff Giant, one of the greatest hoaxes of the 19th century, was carved from stone, just so happened to be the home of our Guidestone boogeyman, R.C. Christian. Which brings us to the final part of this video.
The punchline. The punchline is that it got blown up and then it got knocked over because fuck that shit. That's the punchline. But you should definitely go check out Really Graceful. Give her a subscribe or whatever because she makes some great videos. I believe she actually just released one about this that's even longer than her original one. And it's funny because like I tweeted at her right after this shit happened and then all of a sudden she was like posting this shit. I was like, that was really smart. You know, really smart. Super smart. So, you know, like, make sure you go check out her channel because obviously conspiracy theories about everything abound. You know, Illuminati, QAnon, whatever the fuck. All these conspiracy theories are the same. They're all fake and gay. But the Georgia Guidestones is really weird because don't you remember? I remember not that long ago, a little chip was taken out of one of them for them to basically do something with. It was supposed to be some kind of symbolic thing, and then now this happens and they just knock the whole thing over. Makes you wonder. Really, it does make you wonder what's really happening in the world. And I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know. They haven't really announced what's been taken out of the bottom of those things, like if somebody took it out or, you know, whatever, but you know, I would like to think there's just a giant bag of lewds in there, a big old thing of like KY jelly, and then, you know, a bunch of other like party stuff probably. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. So, I mean, what do you really say? I mean, it could be a message of freedom. You know, maybe the new liberal world order isn't having such a good time. So, you know, they had to knock their shit down. Roe versus Wade got repealed. So they decided, hey, we're just going to knock these over because, you know what, they don't mean nothing anymore. Yeah. But if anybody asks, just tell them that you heard that there were lewds in it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's funny. It's funny. Be funny.
Yes, 2 questions real quick. In the past week, Governor Newsom has called Florida not free. President Biden by false statements about the Parental Rights Act, and then we saw that false salon article going around about higher ed. What do you make of prominent Democrats putting out these false statements about you in Florida?
Well, look, I'm just like this. Everyone wants to talk about me in Florida. I mean, like, I'm just sitting here, little old me doing my job. I can just tell you this. I was born and raised in this state, and until the last few years, I rarely, if ever, saw a California license plate in the state of Florida. You now see a lot of them. I can tell you, if you go to California, you ain't seeing very many Florida license plates.
Yeah. Oh! Sorry, I had to play that like happy shit before we get into this sad shit. Some sad shit happened today, dude. Shinzo Abe, this dude from Japan that was really, really loved by his supporters, was gunned down in the street by a very, very bad man. Well, just kind of strange. He says that it wasn't for political reasons. He did it because he was dissatisfied with other choices that the dude made. But yeah, dude was in and around town, walking around, meeting with supporters, campaigning, and then he was shot dead. That's right. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe shot dead in the street at the age of 67 during a speech Friday in Nara, Japan. And, I mean, the suspect came at him with a homemade shotgun because, remember, there is hardly any gun violence in Japan because there's literally almost no guns in Japan. It's almost impossible to get a firearm in Japan, like import one or anything. Like the only ones that they got are the ones that have been around or that have been there for a really, really long time. So if you would like a firearm, the only way for you to get one is to make one, and that seems to be what this guy did. He seems to have assembled a shotgun himself and utilized this shotgun to basically attack the former prime minister of the area and basically assassinate him in front of his followers and shit. Kind of crazy if you think about it. Strict ownership of gun laws, homicide from guns is extremely rare. They only had 1 homicide out of the 3 guns that were owned or whatever. So that's like really, really hard. It's like crazy how almost they have no gun violence, but the only gun violence that they usually have is usually like some influential person in the area. Like they haven't had anybody shot to death because they literally don't have any guns, which is crazy if you really think about it. And I mean, there's a lot of videos that show, you know, him getting shot. This is one that I believe is safe to show, but, you know, basically he's talking to his supporters, and then dude right here shoots once, twice. So he like takes one shot, hits the guy somewhere like his face area, shoulder, and he's like still standing, and then he readjusts his aim, takes another shot, hits him pretty much right dead center, looks like in the chest, and that's pretty much all she wrote when we talking about a little mini double barrel shotgun. I mean, that's crazy, dude. He was in critical condition when most of this stuff was posted and happening, but I mean, it's just kind of sad. This is a video of after the suspect basically getting arrested. You can see him standing right there. Apparently he had the shotgun, homemade shotgun, in his little bag right there, and he was just listening to the Prime Minister speak. And then after he shot him, they took him down fairly quickly. Had some issues with their cameras, but you could see you could see the firearm that he created. And I mean, it's not really hard to make your own shotgun. And this one looks to be pretty advanced, even in the fake shotgun, because, I mean, all you really need is 2 pipes, one bigger than the other one, and a fucking nail. Shoot off a freaking shotgun shell like that. This is a little bit more advanced. It looks like he took the time to, like, get a 2x4, take some freaking pieces of tubing, clamp it to the top of it, and then he's got, like, a little receiver here in the back where he could load in shotgun shells and close it. And pretty much he made his own shotgun. And if you look at the amount of smoke that comes out of the firearm when it comes out there, it almost seems like he even made the actual ammunition for it as well, because those tubes seem a little bit too big to be like a regular shotgun shell, like, 12 gauge. That's bigger than a 12 gauge for sure. It's almost in the realm of, like, black powder musket, like Cheeseburger saying, or like some kind of blunderbuss is probably more apt, where he basically packed that thing with gunpowder on one end and then, had a bunch of propellant, and then that shit just came out in like a shotgun spread. But I mean, that's it right there. DIY videos, but they had pictures of the guy. Basically, you could see him right there. He had it in his little mochilo or whatever. But it's just crazy, dude. 2 gunshots is all it took. They took him down. I mean, what can you even say or do? He's just talking, and then he gets shot. None of the footage actually shows him getting shot. It just, most of the cameras and stuff dip away or cover when it happens, but it's so fast. That's the first shot. That's the second shot. And then they catch him right over there. So if you think about it, it only happened so quickly. And they arrested the guy. And he said that basically his name is Tetsuya Yagamagi, and he shot the ex-prime minister using his homemade gun. He made it himself. Like, he thought it out. We wanted to take him out, made the gun, took him out. And it's really weird because he says it's not really for political reasons. He says it's more for, like, I guess a religious reason of sorts. I mean, very, very strange if you really ask me. And he was in critical condition by most of the time they got this, but he's in time, has basically passed away from his injuries. So it's just kind of crazy, man. I mean, tell you what, that's news right there. You take away all the people of the United States guns, I'll tell you what, they're still going to make fucking guns, guys. They'll still have them. They'll protect themselves some way, somehow. And I mean, President Biden said that they were going to have staff with the flags because of the whole issue with Shinzo Abe. But literally, Japan only had 1 gun-related death in 2021. Think about that. 1. There was 1 gun-related death in 2021. There was at least 8 to 10 incidents reported that were gang-related with firearms, but only 1 person actually died from a gun in Japan. 1 fucking person. Now it's for 2021. I guess it's still 1 person's died, and it's Shinzo Abe. And it wasn't even like a good gun. It was just like a shooting from a handmade weapon that this dude just like cobbled together on his own. Here we go, right here. You can see him there. Wow, look at that shit. What the fuck? Look at this shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? That's like... Look at that shit. it's like a 2x4 with like another 2x4 or piece that's like a handle, and then he's got what look to be either D batteries, but that's too big. That's like a lipo. That's like a lithium ion battery pack right there. Because you can see that it's like covered on the outside, but it's got the little brown wrapper on the inside. That's like a lipo pack with the big wires coming out. And then he's got some sort of trigger rigged up right here that seems to be from like a toy. So it's got some kind of electronic power fusing system. Because if you look right here on the ends of the caps, that's what ignites the propellant. What the fuck, dude? Holy shit. That's advanced as fuck. That's like the most advanced. That's the most advanced shitty shotgun I've ever seen in my life. Like igniter cat, RC car battery, trigger from an RC car mechanism, because that's kind of what that looks like. Like it's like a plastic trigger, see-through. I mean, it looks like you got it off of one of those little, it looks like a little handle from one of the what the fuck? And then the whole thing's just wrapped in duct tape, which I guess is smart, because if it blows up, hopefully the duct tape will at least keep shit together or whatever. You can see he's got it strapped down too with a zip tie right here. This is fucking crazy, dude. Some scrap piece of 2x4 with the little wires coming out with an damn. What the fuck, dude? Japanese people are crazy as fuck, yo. What the fuck? I was not expecting that. I didn't see that before. I did not see that before. I only saw the side from the top view. That just made this even weirder. Like, did this guy used to work for like the Navy or something like that? This guy must have been in like the military, because ain't no way that some civvy just decidedly. You can't learn that in like the Anarchist Cookbook or any of the books that I've seen. I haven't seen anything that's ever talked about using that for improvised shotguns and shit. What the fuck, man? Some crazy shit. So I guess, it's really sad Shinzo Abe died, man. Super sad. This is a picture of him getting worked on by his people, but you can see that whatever hit him was probably a slug of some kind. And it all held together, worked for basically what he needed it to. And I mean, that's how it goes in guerrilla warfare, my friends. That's how it goes. Think about it, they used to make pistols, like little tiny one-shot pistols for the French Liberation Army, so that the whole point of the pistol was for them to get close to a soldier that had a gun, kill that soldier that had a gun, take their gun. And that's what they would use them for. And I mean, in this case, this is like some guy that's been plotting to kill this dude for a long time, literally put together the most advanced homemade shotgun that I've ever seen in my fucking life, and then committed the atrocity. And it looks like he kind of missed with the first shot, but he definitely hit with the same shot. Better watch your back, dog. I've seen shotguns made out of way less, but that was like, what? That's probably the most advanced version of one that I've ever seen in my entire life. Yikes. 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 Told you the news today, since we get back, it's getting weird, man. We got former prime ministers getting assassinated in the street. It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. We got Elon Musk trying to give up on buying Twitter, and Twitter is saying, no, you are going to buy us, or else. We're coming for that ass, boy, Mr. Musk. And then what else do we got going on in this particular thing? I mean, the dude must have played Cyberpunk. Really? Oh, we got Joe Biden being a legendary F-up, just like his son. Well, I mean, what can we really say other than being an American is super cool? It's never boring, right? It's never boring. Although sometimes lately it's been getting real fucking expensive with that inflation. But hey, who do we blame for it? Obviously Putin. All Putin's price hikes. I can't believe you, Vladimir Putin. This is all your fault. Joe Biden told me to tell you that. So I'm telling you, you better cut it out, motherfucker, or else I'm gonna come at you. What? Shit. Anyways, yeah, watch out, Putin. I'm coming for you. I know you're scared. I would be scared if I saw me coming at me. If I saw me coming at me, I would be scared because I'd be like, holy shit, it's about to go down. The other fucking clone of me is trying to fight me for supremacy. It's going to be like the one. I got to come at this motherfucker like Jet Li. You know? Be ready. You never know when it's going to happen. Anyways, please hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll be back probably if, you know, we didn't fuck up again. I hope I did it. I mean, I did my best. We tried. But either way, bye. Bye-bye now. Later. Go home. Or do whatever you do at your house. You know, everybody's different. Everybody does their own thing.